Finance Committee agenda for March the 20th. Dr. Jones.
Here.
Counselor Gwaltney. Counselor Allemon. Counselor Smith. Here. Counselor Harden.
Here.
So we have Gwaltney and Allemon out. So 2 absent, but 3 present. So we have a quorum.
Okay, great. We have a quorum. So
I would make a motion to dispense with the reading and approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
okay, moved by Counselor Smith, second by Counselor Harden. That's March 6. Any questions, changes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That is 3-0. Okay, we're going to start at the top and move our way down. 250417, request for consideration of 18th Street revitalization project. Cale, you have a couple of updates for us on that today?
The contractor is at the corner of Valley and 18th Street, and by Friday they hope to have the island that sort of forms the right turn lane installed. So at that point, from like 9 to 4, they've been closing down the right lane on Valley and the right lane on 18th so they can work, but they're opening it up during the peak hours.
Okay.
But hopefully they'll be done with all that by Friday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll carry that over without objection.
Counselor Jones, I didn't get a chance to review, as a second set of eyes, the agenda because we've had auditors. I'm not trying to give an excuse, but so we shouldn't have put 120123 in there because y'all reported it out without recommendation. So if you'll just
That's
drop
exactly
it, please.
what
It's
I
on
was
me.
going to say.
Yeah, it's on me though. It's on me. I'm telling you, I didn't get a chance to review it.
I wasn't going to blame you.
Well, I mean it is. So
1201, moving on to 120123, a bid opening was held on March 13th at 4:30 for Delcris sidewalks, and as you recall, that did go to council on a positive vote. So I believe the appropriate thing would be to drop that in here.
Yep.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, moved by Counselor Smith, second by Counselor Harden. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 3-0 to drop. Thank you. New business 170223. Request for permission to work in the right-of-way at the American Legion building at 4 Hollywood Boulevard. Counselor Andrus, and I remember the report from Public Works was in the affirmative to send this to finance for
I didn't know I
funding.
did that. I was literally sending this to finance. Okay, I did.
It's already here.
Didn't realize that. Hey, Berkeley. Hey, Berkeley. We are already in finance.
For American
Yeah,
That's what
for
we
the
do.
American Legion project. It's already in
yeah.
finance.
Yes, so
My thing is this, I've got enough right now to cover it, and we're gonna get $28.5 is what the contract price is. So we're gonna go ahead and move them forward, and I'll come back to you guys later, because it's gonna take about all of my line item when I do that.
do you need a funding appropriation tonight?
No, not.
No, he
I
said
can
he
go
can
ahead
go
and do
ahead with what he's
it.
got.
Yeah, I've got enough in that line item right now, but I've got two.
what
other
line item is
projects.
it, just for the record?
Huh?
What line item is it?
Sidewalk repair, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Whatever
so
that
do you,
sidewalk repair.
so do you're okay with us dropping
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, because I can bring it back.
Or, okay, you
I
want to
thought
drop
you
this, or do you want to
wanted
hold
to
on
be
to it?
appropriate.
I'll tell you what, just table it for now, and let
Okay.
me come back later, because I might get some money transferred in later.
Okay.
Because I got 2 other sidewalk projects I gotta.
I'll make a motion to table
And I would-
Mr. Harden, second by
170223.
Mrs. Smith, to table. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 3-0. That is
Did
tabled.
you say it's gonna be
Come back to us when-
28,500?
Yes.
Yeah, just come back to us when
I will. I'll
when you're
get
ready.
back to you.
Okay, very good. 020323, request to amend contract with CB&A Construction for Mecca Avenue. Hopefully you got the email I sent out this afternoon about
Yes.
that.
Is it 23,000 and changes?
28,272.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And you've got that in your line item. If you can get that to Mr. Kendrick, the number. Can you pull that out?
You want me to pull up the email?
Yeah. Or, Cale, do you want to get his report on it?
I can.
Okay.
I can do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the change order was for 4 different things along Mecca that we approved them to do while they were out there.
Yeah.
So we could go ahead and get them all decided and have to come back.
Mike, do you want me to forward this to you? Okay.
I got the actual change.
Okay, yeah.
But I would recommend that we pull that money from the Central Avenue TAP project, which was 1211-582-475.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I would make a motion to amend that contract for the changes as suggested.
So we are gonna have that budget amendment to move that from that one line item to the other?
Yeah, from the,
Okay.
Yeah.
whatever he just said.
Yeah,
Central
1211,
Avenue.
582, 475.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harden.
1211.
That's not 475.
Okay, any questions for Cal? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 3-0, that passes.
28 to.
72.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Good, thank you. Okay, moving on, 03-03-23, request to authorize the mayor to sign uniform contract with Centos, Gordon James, and the Fleet Maintenance Department. This was already discussed in our budget hearings, and so this is a budgeted item. What is the total? You have the total?
I forwarded, let me
see if I
Oh, yeah,
can
here we
do
go.
it.
I got it.
I think we copied everybody.
Does it have to be bid out? Does it have to be bid out?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, I'm
I'll see
looking.
a final number.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I'll
Let's
see a
see.
3,500 number, but that can't be right.
The unit price is 3,500.
Yeah, I just don't see how many we're doing.
And there's like 5 cents, 2.90. I don't really know.
Yeah, I can't.
Mr. Kennedy, does this have to be bid out? I can't tell if it's over 15,000 or not. I'm sorry? I just can't tell.
I don't think, it's not over 15, but I'll have to go back and.
It's asking us to sign
Do I
a
need
new
to get my
contract
budget
with
and
them.
look, see what?
Yeah, I mean, I just can't tell because it's a bunch of 50 cents and 5,000. I don't even know what the whole is. I don't know what the actual number is.
I can go get mine.
Mine's in my box. You need it?
This is John Hart's dreams that I'm putting in your box.
It says two.
I don't know if he itemized it or not, see, they didn't itemize it. I think it goes to contractual services, doesn't it, Robert?
Contractual.
He put
yeah,
4,000, so I
contractual.
guess it's not
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
15.
under.
it's just 30, I think it's like $3,500
Okay.
for the year.
He
I
put
believe.
4,000 in there, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's
That's
the
what it says on there,
Yeah, it says
3,500.
3,500, but I just didn't know if that was
Oh,
the
yeah,
actual.
so that's the total amount. So,
Okay.
so the proper motion, I guess, to authorize the mayor to sign the contract with Centos. It's budgeted $3,500.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Mr. Harden made the motion.
Yes, 0121,
Taking that page.
0121 520 contractual services. Okay, 01-21-520 contractual services.
Okay, it's been motion seconded. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 3-0, that passes. Okay, 04-03-23, request to authorize the mayor to sign contract with United Way Meals on Wheels for 22-23 appropriation.
That's budgeted.
And that is also budgeted, and, hold on a second, it's in here
It's
somewhere.
$5,000.
Well, as a,
Even?
Let's
Yes.
check out the budget, just make
as a
sure.
20-year
Yep, okay.
Meals on Wheels volunteer,
5,000.
I would move to approve that
Okay,
payment.
Mrs.
Second.
Smith made the motion.
Mr.
And,
Kendrick, is this the Meals on Wheels, or you need that number? Account number? It's 0111-575-126. $5,000.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded. Any other questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign, 3-0.
Yes, they have to,
We'll have to get it to you.
yes, sir.
Yeah. You're gonna be signing a lot, Mayor. Get ready. And you have one more, but you might not sign this one yet. 05-03-23, request to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with the BJ CTA for 22-23. And this one, As
It's
Ms.
a little more
Busby,
than
as Ms.
5,000.
Busby would say, we have a situation.
Well, didn't we have
That
wasn't the number wrong at some
Well,
point?
we had budgeted to keep level funding.
that's the
The mayor
general
budgeted
fund.
level funding. The
Right.
council approved level funding.
Right.
And it was provided to them that we would pay level funding.
Sure.
But when they started submitting the bills, basically our annual funding amount was $374,432
As a level fund.
as level funding.
Right.
But the bill, they've, instead of quarterly, they started sending them monthly. But if you add up the monthly bill, it's $449,328. And I've been emailing back and forth with them, and then I realized that we never actually signed a contract. Melanie, I asked Melanie for the contract, and we never signed a contract with them. They've never provided us with a contract. So if I've asked Mr. Dixon, not directly, but indirectly through his accountant, that they need to contact
Dickerson?
Dickerson. I didn't speak with him directly, I spoke with the accountant.
Yeah.
And I said, we don't have a signed contract, that they need to, Mr. Dixon needs to get in contact with our mayor and finance committee about having a contract signed and provide a contract.
So we.
What was in the
since we-
budget, 374?
374, yeah, 432.
So since we don't have the right number, since we haven't been being billed the right number, and we don't have, and I'm pretty sure I remember when we made some alterations to the contract. I think one of the things that we put in our contract was that we would be billed quarterly.
It was quarterly.
Yeah, that was in the
that was-
original agreement.
Yeah, that was supposed to be in the contract, so the fact that we're being billed.
But they've messed that up for the last couple of years, and we have to tell them, like, they still want to send monthly bills. This isn't the first year they've ever done that,
Okay,
but
yeah.
we have to try to talk to them and tell them we pay quarterly all the time.
Was
Yeah.
it last year that they messed up their numbers for us? It was last year, I
They-
think.
Last year, we had reduced numbers because they had received some ARPA money.
Yeah.
It was
Maybe 2 years.
2 years ago where they really messed up our numbers. It was,
And everybody else. We
Yeah.
weren't the only
Okay, I
citizens.
just want to make sure though, JJ and the mayor, I mean, you do remember it was level funding, that's what you recall, the discussion?
Correct.
Okay. And it's in the budget, yeah, and it's in two different line items.
it's in
but
the debt fund service and the general
Yeah.
fund.
Yeah, and I believe it was level funding from the previous year because of the ARPA money. So
Yeah,
we-
that is correct.
We basically went back and said, we know we paid less this last time because, because of the COVID numbers, but we just went back to level funding from the year before. There's been no additional services or
Right.
anything like that added to it, so.
Well, my preference would be to go ahead and pay them what we're obligated in the budget and what we had agreed to, and then we work out the contract, but I don't want to put that in your lap. If you would rather us keep this on here and not pay them until we get a contract signed,
Well, I mean, I think we have
I'm
to have a
fine either way,
contract.
whatever your preference is.
I would certainly rather have the contract.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I think we need to get the contract signed.
But I certainly don't want them to come here and go into negotiations and all this kind of stuff. So maybe we can meet with them separately to just talk to them about what was agreed upon, and let's get an agreement. Would you be open to that,
Yeah,
Mr.
I mean,
Kendrick, working with them to get a contract?
Contract's easy.
Yeah,
Right.
They should have it.
I mean, we just, Robert, I could email Glenn
Well,
Dickerson
they're
again and
not
say y'all carried
responding
it over,
to,
please send us a
they're
contract.
not responding to
Tell them
Robert,
now.
so I'm just saying.
But they have the information from us on what we approved. So they've known since October of last year.
Yeah.
What
Well-
we're gonna pay for fiscal year '23. So there should be no.
Okay, if somebody can just notify them.
Do you want me to
that we're
email
not
Glenn
gonna-
Dickerson and
we're not-
copy you and Robert and the Walter Jones and Kendrick, Mr. Kendrick, and just
That's fine.
say,
Let them know that,
it's
you know,
it's carried
we're not
over in
gonna be paying
finance
bills
for
until
2
we
weeks,
get
waiting on you
Tell
to
them
give us
we-
the
in the
contract.
contract,
Based on the information that we've already sent them.
It's billed quarterly, and once we get this thing signed, we
Correct.
we will.
You remember
we'll
last year
make
he couldn't get the
quarterly
email to come
payments.
through to me, and he ended up having to email Robert. Glenn Dickerson had to email Robert's personal email address. It's
So
just
we've
something
not
every year.
paid them so far this year.
We have not paid.
We have not paid them this fiscal.
That's why they're calling
Okay.
me money.
All right, well, I say we carry it over
Just carry it over.
to,
I agree.
we'll carry it over without objection until we can get the contract executed.
That seems like that should be.
But once we do that, then we'll authorize the mayor to do that. Okay, we'll carry that over. Okay, any other items that we need to discuss? I do want to turn it over to Mrs. Smith for just a minute. As you know, Chris Smith was a big advocate of the decorative signs, and he has been on us for a long, long time. And now they're almost here. And, he's a good friend of mine, and he's been a good friend of the city, and I wanted to have you say a couple of words.
Yes, I went back in my email and looked when Chris first came to me about doing the decorative signs. He had paid himself for a decorative sign for Grove Place, which is the street that he lived on with his family. And for those of you who don't know, Chris passed away Friday night, unexpectedly. And so he came to me, this was, I think on my email, it was about 3 years ago, and said, I really want to make sure that every street in Homewood has a decorative sign. He didn't like the green signs. He didn't like how it was all mishmash, and it was not that way some places. And then he was like, Ward 2 doesn't have any, decorative signs. So he wanted to do decorative signs throughout the whole city, so much so that he lobbied to be added to the beautification board so that he could be part of the process. And he, like Walter said, he has been a fantastic, he's just a really, like I said to somebody today, a really solid guy. A good, smart guy who just wanted to do something good for his community. He wanted to serve, he wanted to help. And so, I just want to give Chris the credit that he deserves, unfortunately, posthumously, that for coming up with the idea for that program that is now actually happening. And I think he would be so thrilled that is actually going to happen this year, and it's going to, spread across the whole city by the time it's all finished and said and done. So, credit to Chris for making that happen. And I'm just, prayers for sweet Katie and Camden and Caroline, and just for their family and for all that, that they're going through. His parents.
And if you'll indulge me, if we could just have a moment of silence to think about his family, so we can have a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Any other, hate to end on such a sad note, but we want to thank him for, there's lots of citizens out there.
Since he's a recent addition to the beautification board, his contributions were very meaningful and appreciated. We were discussing, him as a board via email, just letting everybody know. And they already, board members pulled together a fund and contributed, on behalf of the board, one donation to the Boy Scouts, which was one of the memorials, on behalf of all the members of the board. Just really appreciate Chris as well. And we were all really sad and shocked to hear the news. But, so thanks for taking the time to recognize it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Wolverton said he is almost here.
Are you cheering Mr. Gwaltney's?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for all that. And
I'll be back.
hearing no more business, we're adjourned.